Good evening. I hope to talk to you about Thomas Jefferson's impact and legacy on the nation. I want to reflect on his views on slavery and how that may have clouded maybe some people's judgment about him as to whether he was a beacon of freedom and liberty or whether he was something other than that. So I hope you enjoy my presentation. Thomas Jefferson was born on April 13, 1743 at Shadwell Plantation in Western Virginia. And during Jefferson's time, few Americans could afford the kind of quality education that he received. As a young country lawyer, Jefferson practiced law on a circuit following the meetings of the Colonial Court as it traveled to various district seats throughout Virginia. Later, he married Martha, and on January 1st, 1772, and moved into a one-room brick house, Jefferson's Virginia plantation, which he called Monticello. Jefferson would, over the years, build on and to Monticello and make it an architectural diamond. And he would do a lot of that using slaves, skilled slaves, and their labor. So this kind of brings to mind the question of whether, because he owned slaves, whether he was an apostle of freedom or something much sharper than that. When Thomas Jefferson was born in 1743, slavery had existed in Virginia for nearly 75 years. He grew up on a plantation with enslaved workers, and as an adult, owned nearly 200 slaves. Jefferson's life and work reflect his contradictions in relation to slavery, and being that he was one of the architects of the new democracy that extolled freedom and equality. His views on slavery were very complex. At one time, he thought blacks were naturally inferior to other races, but later conceded that slavery may have had an impact on their ability. As a young Virginia legislator, he unsuccessfully advocated allowing private citizens to free their slaves, and later he introduced a bill wherein free blacks would stand in the state. And in his original draft of the Declaration of Independence, it included some strong language opposing the transatlantic slave trade, and as president, he signed a bill to outlaw that trade. And from a quote from him, we can see how he was conflicted in his view about slavery. He said, "Indeed, I tremble for my country when I reflect that God is just, that his justice cannot sleep forever." And what I gained from that is that he felt like that later on somebody was going to have to pay the price somewhere for slavery. Jefferson recognized the evils of slavery, but he remained tied to a system of bondage known all his life, and he only freed 7 slaves himself, and those were family members of the Hemings family. His concerns about slavery range from self-interest to other views. He believed most former slaves couldn't survive independently, and he also feared for his own economic safety. As an older man, he advocated freeing and returning slaves to Africa. He said, "There is nothing I would not sacrifice to a practical plan of abolishing every vestige of this moral and political depravity." Based on the evidence, I will conclude that Jefferson was a beacon of equality, justice, and freedom, and that his views on slavery reflect those of the majority of people that lived during his time. I feel that his contributions to our country and our government far outweigh any negative implications regarding his views on the issue of slavery. Thank you.